This is a question that really touches me personally because as I've become more involved in veganism and become more interested in animal rights, it's really been difficult for me to retain the same amount of compassion for other humans, especially other humans that are hurting animals, as I do for other animals. So what is the best way to retain compassion for non-vegans while still promoting veganism?
My diet is what you would call vegan, but I don't really say often anymore I am a vegan. I'll say that I don't eat animal products. But identifying with any kind of label that excludes others ends up being the basis for limiting where our compassion extends, and then the basis for conflict. And so we want to not just be Americans or, Christians or whatever limited group. We want to be citizens of the planet. And then we want to be not just human citizens, but earthlings, right? We want to continue to expand our sense of connectedness to the rest of life. And so I think there's even an identity level of I am a vegan or I'm an animal activist, as opposed to just compassion is a deep value for me. Everybody actually values compassion, even if their circle hasn't extended as far yet. They value it towards their kids, towards their pets, usually, right? Towards some things. And then we identify again what's the same between us, not what's different, and then we get to have a basis for building from there. Because with the exception of a few people that were raised by very conscious parents in this way, most of us ate meat while experiencing ourselves as ethical, caring, loving people. I did, right? And so the me today could easily be judging the previous me as uncaring, and I wasn't uncaring, right? I was unaware. And awareness requires more than just hearing, oh, animals suffer somewhere. It requires actually getting it to change a lifelong pattern that our whole family has done, our whole culture has done, almost everybody around us has done since we were a baby, right? And so we're looking at changing something profound. We're looking at changing how someone supports their own life, staying alive at like a multiple times a day basis, which is why the act of becoming vegetarian is such a huge one. It's because when you say, hey, the way that I support my staying alive and something that I do every day, multiple times a day, and something that I've done since I was an infant, I'm going to change that, it's a huge change. And if you're changing it not just for you, if you change it for health reasons, it's different, because then you learn another health fad and it just keeps changing. But if you change a core way of how you support your life that started early on and that everyone around you is still doing the other thing for the purpose of compassion, then you're saying that compassion is actually one of my core values, and I'm actually going to guide the core aspects of my life by that value. And that ends up bleeding over into so many other areas. You start recognizing, oh, my purchases affect things in ways I don't see. If I had to go to the factory farm to buy meat, I would never get the meat. But because the atrocity is somewhere else, I don't notice it. But what about landfills? Isn't it like that too? And now I'm going to start being conscientious of my waste, right? What about, did my shoes come from a place that was using child slave labor? Was animal testing involved in my cosmetics? And you start really taking responsibility for the effects that are invisible to us if we don't dig, but that are very real and that matter to somebody else. And that act of saying compassion and responsibility for that compassion come together as the core of my life, that I'm actually not just going to have compassion where I care but I don't do anything about it, but I'm going to have compassion and I'm going to act on it. And that becomes a central defining thing about who I am. That's such an essential shift. And it's my belief that everybody wants to have their life be a positive impact on others' lives as they get more informed and they get more sensitized. And that those who are capable of causing more harm, whether it's to animals or anything, is both because of a lack of awareness, a lack of resources for other opportunities, and because of their own hurts and wounds that have shut their empathy down. And so it's really a process of helping people to resensitize and to have new resources and strategies and to have deeper awareness, which means that going to attack them is the exact opposite of what would help, right? Recognizing our sameness with them, recognizing the goodness that's there, and then helping to both heal and offer new strategies is what's relevant.
I think that's a great point to close on, and I really appreciate you being with me today. I really look forward to delving deeper into these topics with you and learning more about veganism.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm really excited about your blog and that you're sharing this with people.
Great, thanks.